Spoiler alert, the films we review on the Slashers and Screamers podcast are guaranteed to be spoiled in full if you listen beyond this point. If you've not seen the film we're reviewing this week, I urge you to find it and watch it to your heart's content before joining us. But if you don't care and just want to listen to fun conversations, then by all means stick around for Slashers and Screamers.
A vegetarian virgin studying to be a veterinarian has her first taste of meat and creates an insatiable thirst for flesh and will do whatever she can to consume it. Somebody call PETA because we watched Raw.
Groovy.
It's just a creepy movie. It definitely creeps you out for sure.
Somebody has to be perfect, so it might as well be.
Talk about deja vu.
You live to tell the tale.
You gotta think like a werewolf.
It's the Slashers and Screamers podcast. You know, all the good radio stations are playing Christmas music already. It's not even December 1st.
I have my Christmas tree up.
Yeah, we put the tree up Thanksgiving Day at my mom's house. My son likes to do that.
I'm gonna send you guys a link, actually. I thought these were cute. I don't know what your thoughts will be, but I bought like 6 of them.
A baker's half dozen. Okay.
It's this Etsy shop that makes little horror ornaments, and they were cute.
I'll get right on buying those.
They had a bunch of different options. Let me go to the chat. I'll put it in there.
You know, with all that Christmas music, though, I'm really fucking up. Like, my memory is just shot, I think. I was,
How so?
Well, I was driving home, and, like, on the local volunteer state radio station, 88.5, WVCP, they were playing Christmas music. I think it was that one. And, like, it got me in the mood to kind of sing along, right? And it was that jazzy stuff, you know, not any of that bullshit, you know, Mariah Carey stuff.
Whoa.
Well,
bite your tongue, sir.
Well, so basically,
You can say there's no such thing as Santa, but as for me and Grandpa, we believe she's been drinking too much eggnog.
Is that Freddie Loggins, James? That better be Freddie Loggins. Or Kenny.
That's grandma got run over by a reindeer.
Okay. Well, along those lines, though, that's what we were, you know, kind of bopping to in the car. And whoever it is that sang the Frosty the Snowman song, you know, I was, you know, snapping on 1 and 3, you know, 1 and 2 and 3. And so I said, you know what, let me just turn this radio off and hit up this Frosty. About a line or two into it, I completely changed songs.
Because you don't know the words?
Well, I can't remember the words. I know every word to every song ever, but...
in the deep recesses of your mind, you know the words, but not in the regular surface.
I prefer to use Abyss. But, yeah... I got like 2-3 lines into it, and I just switched songs completely, and I couldn't snap back to it. I even stopped, started again, and I couldn't do it. Like, my mind just wouldn't let me sing the correct words. So there I am. See, my stepdad will actually do that for fun. I don't know if he's doing it for fun, but he does it.
It's fun for you.
It's fun for me. He tries to sing Creedence Clearwater Revival's Have You Ever Seen the Rain? And he switches off into The Things You Do for Love. And because he's like, have you ever seen the rain and the snow when there's nowhere to go? And I don't know if he does it on purpose or if he does it by accident and pretends that he's doing it on purpose. But it happened to me, and I couldn't snap out of it. So I'm like, Frosty the Snowman. What? And then all of a sudden, I'm like, and how the reindeer loved it. And I couldn't snap out. And I did this for the whole 30-minute drive home. And I just came home and went to bed. Upset that I couldn't remember the words to Frosty.
Have you seen the Santa Claus?
The Tim Allen movie?
Yes.
Like when it was new.
Okay, well, I just saw it.
For the first time ever.
Yeah, I'm not a
Dominic
big Christmas person, but...
First
Do I
time,
know
James?
who?
Dominic the Donkey.
No.
Casey, have you seen Jingle All the Way? Please say yes.
Dominic
No, I don't know what that is.
a whatchamacallit?
Have you seen Home Alone?
Donkey.
I've seen Home
A
Alone.
Christmas donkey. A French Christmas donkey.
What?
Oh, see, you said French, so now, Rick's ears perked up.
Le
It's
Donkey.
like, how could there be a French donkey if I don't know about him?
There's a lot happening in my ears right now.
Yeah, there's so much happening.
His name is Dominic, the cutest little donkey.
Okay, well, James, we're gonna get sued. It's cool. Fuck it. I don't
Is
care.
this happening right now? Are we doing this right now?
I don't want my kids to go to college. It's not. It's not Christmas time. It's Thanksgiving time, even though the day has passed. It's October
Christmas
28th
time.
at the time
It's
of
November
our...
28th.
Going to celebrate Dominic
What
the
I'm saying.
Donkey.
Well, listen.
Right
Speaking of
later.
Thanksgiving, how was everybody's Thanksgiving?
Are we recording?
Hmm?
You should start telling us when we start recording.
No,
Just a favor I'm asking.
Don't make me play Ram Jam Bill.
don't do it because we will get sued.
You're a mean one, Mr. Grinch.
Well,
Thanksgiving was
I mean,
okay.
don't bother answering my questions, guys. I mean, okay, individually, Casey, how was your Thanksgiving?
I
Hopefully,
already told you about my Thanksgiving.
I'll let James
Well, you
go
didn't
first.
tell.
He seems excited.
well, he didn't tell anybody. He bragged about it.
Well,
I don't-
welcome to bragging camp. James, let's
Took all
go.
that stuff, Bill.
Yeah, you were pissing and moaning about that cornbread.
Oh.
What's so
Oh,
special
right.
about this cornbread you made?
My old lady fell off the porch and twisted her ankle on Thanksgiving Eve.
Did she really?
So, yeah. But she's doing better now.
Wait a minute, just a minute. Is she in earshot? Can she hear
yeah,
me?
she might hear me. No.
She can't hear me? Okay, good. I mean, James, are you not questioning that even a little bit?
What's that?
Just so happens to be that the day before all this cooking has to get done, I've twisted my ankle and I can't do anything?
No, we did all the cooking last weekend. Like, the weekend before Thanksgiving. The
Okay, I'll
day
retract it.
Thanksgiving, she hurt her ankle.
That's
So, I mean, we didn't have anything to do on Thanksgiving.
It's still fishy to me because I'm outside of the home. It's really fishy. I'd look into it if I were you. I'd ask her about it after this call.
I accused her, so it don't make no difference.
Casey, how was yours?
I had an excellent Thanksgiving.
What was
It
so
was
excellent
good.
about it?
The food was fucking fire. There was nothing this year to be petty about, really, mostly.
There was always something
It was
to tell
good.
about.
I mean, a little bit.
How's mom, brothers?
My mom is great. My brothers are also great. We did a drawing for Christmas on we all, with my sister-in-law's family, we all get together and everyone buys a present for someone else. So now I have to figure out what I'm going to do for that. But it's cool.
Yeah, shout out to the fam. Then what's your brother's Twitch channel again? I can't remember
He's a big proponent of the podcast. Sometimes he talks about us on there, but it's Swords, so it's SWOARDZ.
I like it. It's the French
And
spelling.
he is Yeah, for sure. Likes to be appreciative of, different
Swords.
places.
SWOARDZ.
Yep.
For Swords. The Swartz is with you. Listen. So, all these TikTok videos that play this music, they're not getting caught. They're not getting arrested. So
there
why
are
fucking
because there are audio clips that are on TikTok. They're not just taken into another software and, whatever song you want to be put on there is on there. I tried that long ago.
Did it get taken down?
And they got taken down with a quickness. But if you use a sound that is already on TikTok, then that means it's been cleared and you can use it. So, furthering my questions, Rick, how was your Thanksgiving? You didn't cook and eat your cat, did you?
No, it was okay. I mean, my parents are in Europe, so I just went with Jessica's family. So.
Well, I bet they're thankful. Maybe you not so much. Now, didn't you go to Europe lately? Well, not lately, but in the past century? Did you take your parents when you went?
Yeah, we went. Mm-hmm.
No, don't you fucking lie to me.
How's bragging camp going?
It was all right. So
you didn't take your parents when you went?
No, we did. It was a family trip.
Oh, so your parents went with you and without you?
They're retired, so they went on a 3-week cruise.
Oh, okay.
3 weeks on a boat?
Yeah, they're retired.
Ugh. I don't think all the Dramamine in the world could keep me well on that.
A 3-hour tour.
Yeah,
I could do a 3-hour tour. 3 weeks, though? I'm dead.
I was getting lost, and Rick's parents were sunk. Well, Gilligan and the skipper, too.
See how long this goes.
They went to 7 countries, I think. 6 countries.
Well, that's nothing. James has played football in 7 counties.
I once went to 7 counties in one night.
We haven't done in a while.
I once stood on 2 different states, Bill. My right foot was in Virginia, and my left foot was in Tennessee.
Are you Mandy Moore in A Walk to Remember? She does that.
She does that. It's ironic.
One of her final wishes before she dies is to be in 2 places at once, and he takes her ass to a state line.
I know what she can do. Onward, Bill. What about this?
So 1 foot in Tennessee and 1 foot in Kentucky?
Yeah.
Is that what you said?
No, I said Virginia.
I once walked in on an ex-girlfriend of mine who had 1 foot towards New York and 1 towards L.A. It's more of a pointing in those directions kind of a situation, though.
That sounds like a personal problem, Bill.
Yeah, just guilt running down her chin. That bitch.
Billy.
Well, you know what we haven't done in a while?
No.
We haven't played Crack the Case.
Yay.
And I was actually telling my sister over Thanksgiving that because she's the one that, bought me this game when I was like 9 or 10. And it never got played. And I said, hey, what we're doing on the podcast? She says, what? I knew she didn't know because she ain't fucking listening. I said, we're playing Crack the Case. And she pretended to be interested. Oh, okay, good. You guys know the rules. So let's get after it. This case is called 2 Sloppy Spies. It had been a long day. The spy sat in his room and opened his briefcase. As he looked in an envelope of secret documents, he knew immediately that someone had tampered with it. The spy mentally retraced his day's activities and suddenly exclaimed, I know where it happened. So where did the breach occur? And how did the spy deduce it? I don't know if this is a crime. It's probably a case for him. But we're going to open the line of questioning with Ravishing Rick.
Damn it. All right.
We're going to open the line of questioning with Final Girl Casey.
No, we're not.
We're going to open the line of questioning with the Godfather of Droll, James.
Did the spot...
Hell done it.
What's your question, Rick?
Listen here, Rick. You had your chance. It's my turn.
Somebody asked me a question.
Did the spies know each other?
Yes.
Ow.
James. Let's handle your afflictions off your microphone.
Well, Bill, I had to hook up this damn tractor fork the other day, and
oh, so you're making all these grunting noises so someone will ask, "Hey, James, what's wrong with you, pal?"
I'm injured,
Just
Bill.
dying to be noticed.
Down for the count.
Well, start the count so the fight can be over. What's your question?
All right, Bill. What's going on here?
That's what I'm asking you.
Why did they do it? Can you read that again? Because I wasn't paying attention.
That's a good enough reason. It had been a long day. The spy sat in his room and opened his briefcase. As he looked in an envelope of secret documents, he knew immediately that someone had tampered with it. The spy mentally retraced his day's activities. Suddenly he exclaimed, "I know where it happened." The mystery: where did the breach occur, and how did the spy deduce it? That means how'd he figure it out? And Rick's question was, did they know each other? And the answer was yes, they did. Now you're up to speed. The spy and the person who tampered with the documents.
They better quit tampering with them documents, Bill.
If I was a spy, I'd use one of those Coke cans that, or those little secret compartments that looks like a Coke can.
I would use the Barbasol can like in Jurassic Park.
Oh, yeah. Good call.
Let me get a good shave.
If you shave with documents. R.I.P. Mitch Hedberg.
I have no idea, Bill. All I can think of right now is the Netflix show Red Notice and Ryan Reynolds and The Rock. And that one old Gal Gadot.
Gal Gadot?
Well, you better go if you got to do something like that.
Okay. Ask your question, James.
Yeah, I've been waiting a million years for this question.
What happened to the briefcase?
Rephrase your question.
Does the briefcase have anything to do with it?
Yes, it's what was tampered with. Casey, your question.
You never want to deal with a tampered briefcase.
Never. Casey, your question.
Were the papers in the briefcase out of order?
Irrelevant.
Okay.
They were tampered with.
Pickles?
Were the papers a type of secret document?
Yes, they were. JB?
So, we got to figure out who tampered with them and how he knew they were tampered with?
Yes. Casey, your question.
Sorry, that got me.
Danger, Will Robinson, danger.
What indicated to the spy that it had been tampered with? No, I can't ask it like that. Hold on. Yeah.
You can't ask that question.
I'm so sorry, James. Let me think. Okay. Was there something missing that indicated that it had been tampered with?
I don't know.
Okay.
Pickle Rick? Following this round, the first clue will be given, by the way.
Thank God.
Was there anything else that was tampered with besides the briefcase?
His butthole.
I don't know. Yeah, the seal had been broken, hadn't it, James?
It sounded like Tupperware.
James, I am awaiting your question.
Oh, I thought Rick was still answering a question.
Well, he had asked his question, which was, had anything else been tampered with? To which I do not know. I only know that the spy noticed that it had been tampered with, and now he thought, now I know where it happened.
So, was there an indication on the briefcase that he knew where it happened?
No. Casey?
Was the briefcase out of his possession at any point throughout the day purposely?
Out of his possession? Yes.
Yeah. And it was purposely out of his possession?
Yes.
Okay.
To both, yeah. So, yes to your compound question. Yes.
Okay.
All right. Clue number 1. When the breach occurred, the spy's face was covered. Rick.
Were they wearing like a mask to cover their face?
A mask? Yes and no. Or I guess define what you mean by mask.
Disguise.
Huh?
Were they wearing a disguise?
No, there was no disguise. Jables?
Did the spy know the person that tampered with the briefcase?
I believe that answer was yes from Rick's first question. So, Casey?
Did the spy go on a flight earlier that day?
No. Clue number 2 is national security had been compromised by a scallop. Boy, that fucked it all up, didn't it? Rick?
Oh, shit.
Were they part of like a secret agency like CIA or FBI or anything like that?
I don't know. Definitely does not specify which outfit they're with.
Outfit.
Well, there would be an outfit, wouldn't it, James?
I guess, Bill.
Wait, who's the leader of this outfit, right?
That's a gang, Bill.
Well, whatever. Whose question is it?
James.
James, it's your question.
Did the spy get choked on a scallop, Bill?
How did I know that an eatery was the first place your mind was going to go? Nope, not choking on a scallop. So you just think that the spy is choking on this scallop and somebody's going to go looking through his special documents. Nope, now's my shot.
After they covered his face with an oxygen mask, after choking on that scallop.
Yeah, oxygen masks are famous for covering your eyes.
Oh, his eyes were covered?
Well, how else would he not see it? His face was covered.
Oh, well, you said yes and no.
When I don't want you to see something, James, I'm going to put my hand over your mouth.
Did they put scallops over his eyes?
Casey, please save me.
Did another spy pinpoint accurate throw 2 scallops in this man's face? Oh, my eyes!
So he's Irish now. An Irish spy.
007 fooled again by a scallop.
Casey,
looks like a scallop's in my eye. I forgot one thing. Safety glasses, 007.
Well, that's odd.
Oh, that's an odd
Welcome to the Rock.
Scallop in my eye, mini penny.
Just going to give you all the room you need to run with this one, James.
I smell scallops. my one weakness, mini penny, is scallops.
Casey, please.
This is kind of a going on a limb. I don't think it's right, but was the spy at the spa?
There ain't no scallops at the spa.
Well, there's shells. Doesn't necessarily mean scallop the food.
For the sake of not going back to James's Sean Connery impressions, because heaven knows that's the only James Bond he's going to acknowledge. I mean, Roger Moore be damned.
I can't do it, Roger Moore.
The spy was not at a spa, but he was at...
Can you tell me what you're telling me right now?
Yeah, I'm telling you, like, he wasn't at the spa, but he was at a barber shop.
The spy was at the spa eating scallops.
So the spy was at the barber shop.
The spy was at the spa eating soup. Huh?
Do you cover your eyes at the barber shop?
Is this your question? Yes, you do sometimes. Rick, your question...
Get the MVP, they put the hot towel on your face.
What?
I don't go to that barbershop.
James goes to Sport Clips, apparently.
They put a hot towel on your face like they do during a pedicure?
Every shop.
Wash your hair.
Shop, no.
Like,
we don't just go in and talk about sports and get a haircut and leave.
Yeah.
You know that, like, tub that girls lean back in, for their hair?
I'm familiar, yeah.
They got one in there, and you put your head in it, and they put this, you can either get a hot towel or a cold towel wrapped around your face.
So
then they massage your temples.
But because the towel's over your face, you don't know what they're putting on your temples. I hope it's hands.
I don't know who's tampering with my briefcase while I'm in there, but...
Rick, I believe it's your question.
Were the guys together for a long time?
Yes. James, your question. Or actually, Rick, if you want to try to solve this.
Rick's solving it, man.
Huh?
I don't know. Pass.
No.
What?
James?
Hang on.
He passed to you, James.
Hang on, Bill. Does anybody else think Rick's dad is Pierce Brosnan?
I hadn't considered it previously.
Maybe not Pierce Brosnan, but definitely not Daniel Craig. Maybe that James Bond that nobody remembers, is it Timothy Dalton?
Timothy Dalton, and the best James Bond ever.
I mean, my dad.
We already talked about Roger Moore.
Dad is almost 6'4", so.
Well, okay, so he's not like the agile type. Wait a minute. Now, hang on, Rick. Hang on. Let's back up for a second. Your dad is 6'4"?
6'4"?
Oh, yep.
Your dad is 6'4". Is your mom like 2 feet tall? What's your dad's email?
He's George Lazenby.
That's the James Bond that nobody knows?
That's the James Bond, the very first James Bond, and
so Connery wasn't the first?
Casino Royale, like the very first James Bond, it was some weird guy.
Okay.
Rick's dad.
Okay. Good job, Rick. No wonder you're balling. Okay, so back to this question. Your dad's 6'4", so your mom must be like 2.5 feet tall.
You can be an agile 6'4". I mean, I don't know why.
5'3".
Okay, James, I'm not being derogatory about Rick's father. I promise.
I'm not lumbering around at a smooth 6'4".
What the hell do you mean he can't be agile? What's Rick's dad ever done to you to say he's not agile?
My dad played college baseball and basketball in high school, so it's pretty agile.
Hey, that don't impress me, buddy. Okay.
He also held Rick's forehead while he tried to run at him, and Rick he couldn't get to him because he's holding his head.
Can't reach him. Because Rick is what, like 5'7", 5'8"?
5'6".
Huh?
5'6".
I would have just said, yeah, Rick. Whew. Golly. So 6'4" to 5'6". That's something. Yep. It doesn't mean anything. I don't know what it could mean.
Should we all go around and talk about how tall our parents are, Billy?
Yeah, my dad was 6'1". I'm 6 feet. My mom's like 5'5", maybe 5. Yeah, 5'5". James, both your parents are decently tall. Your dad's over 6 feet, right? It's like 6'1", 6'2". Well, in his heyday, he's also 60 years old, so he's lost an inch or two on the height. I bet at his peak he was 6'1", 6'2".
Probably.
Yeah, and your mom for a gal, pretty tall.
She's a gigantor.
Yeah, she is a gigantor. But she's about 5'9", 5'10".
No, she's like 6 foot tall, Bill.
Well, hang on. I saw her at the marching band meet not long ago. She's gotten shorter.
Well, she's old too now, so she's probably lost some height.
Okay. Hey, let me tell you a story about James's mom.
Her sister, the Twin Towers in the basketball.
You're goddamn right. I was just about to say that. James and I, when we were like early teens, maybe like preteens, 11, 12, something like that, we go with James's mom up to the Civic Center in Gallatin, Tennessee, and we're just doing everything. Playing ping pong, shooting basketball, whatever you do to keep from exercising, but it really be exercise. While mom's up on the upper level track, just like running her ass off, just ear to pocket the whole time for like 6 hours. I don't know. And she comes down, we're playing ball, and we're like, hey, James, let's school your mom at some basketball. We've been shooting for a while. We'll eat her up. Man, James's mom cooked us for dinner. like got down in the post, boxed me out, like throwing bows like world peace. It was bananas. And that's where my respect for women began and ended.
It did not end.
Listen, that was embarrassing. Never again would I respect a woman after just being eaten alive on the basketball court. I mean, like, ate us up.
She was pretty good on the court.
Pretty damn good. And had a sister, same height. Still has a sister, same height. And they were on the same basketball team, so that's, like, already an advantage. And both of them were just fucking ballers. Now we're talking about a 2A, 3A, high school, but this is still, like, baller level, ability. So crazy. But anyway, hey, we're back to... Yeah, they're pretty mean. Casey, I know both of your parents are under 5'6".
Me?
Yeah.
No.
A kind of hot, see?
Mom's pretty tall.
They lived in a hole.
Before she had, like, literally 10 back surgeries, she was probably, like, 5'11".
Okay, so
now she's
like
a little bit shorter.
She's had vertebrae removed, and she's like 5'2"
Everything's
now.
fused. She's probably my height, and I'm 5'9".
Yeah, you're pretty tall. I'll still fucking dunk on you, though.
I will meet you somewhere, and we will videotape this for the podcast.
They lived in a hole, at the end of a meadow, in a hollowed out tree.
I don't.
Whose question was it?
I think it was James's.
James, it's your question. Because Rick passed. His question is still alive.
So, he got ganked in a barbershop by who?
Did we ever clarify that he's injured? I think he's fine.
Well, hang on. No. Ganked does not mean shanked. Ganked means he got stole on.
Oh.
Yeah. he got ganked. Giggity ganked.
God damn it.
Ooh, shit.
So you think he got ganked at the barbershop?
Yeah, so...
But what's scallops got to do with this?
Debo come in there, got some scallops. Said, give me that briefcase. That's my briefcase.
And he just threw them at him like those acorns on Willow.
Here's some scallops.
Well, James... We're just going to give it to you. Fuck it. This has been going on for too long. The sealed padded envelope had been opened with the help of a small pair of scissors with scalloped edges. James doesn't even know that's a thing. The spy recognized the cuts as the work of a pair of cuticle scissors, the kind used by the petty manicurist at the barbershop he had visited that afternoon. The briefcase, he recalled now, had been out of his sight for a full minute while the barber had placed a hot towel over his head and massaged his temples. That's when he realized that this particular clip joint clipped not only his hair, but his secrets as well. God, James, congratulations on that. You win a big pile of absolutely nothing.
Hell, would I had ever got that?
Well, you did.
Scalloped and damn.
I don't know what scalloped edges means.
Yeah, you do. Curved like a shell.
Oh. That's all that means? Okay, I was like thinking of the blade itself, like the edge.
Curved edge. Why they say scallops? Scallops ruined my wedding.
Scallops would ruin my wedding. I am allergic.
Well, okay. Guys,
allergic to scalloped edges.
Yeah, that too.
Well, yeah. If somebody stabs me with scalloped edges, I will die.
Specifically cuticle scissors.
Yeah. No matter how deep. Anyway, guys, listen.
Too tiny.
What are we here to do? I watched this movie.
Rick, James.
James is already yawning at the thought of this movie, so let's get this thing rolling before he falls asleep.
I did pick another foreign film knowing what I was getting into.
This movie made me physically ill.
It made a lot of people physically ill at its original screening. They said up to 30 people left the room.
But they
had to call ambulances.
I was one of those people.
It was icky. I had to pause it at one point.
Really? Okay, so listen.
Well, I was eating, so I paused it to go put my food away.
Rick, do you have a rundown for this film?
That I do, yes.
All right, give it to us. Hard and fast.
I'm gonna say a disclaimer. I'm obviously gonna mispronounce the French people's names. I'm not French.
You better fucking hope you don't.
To our listeners,
Dominic the Donkey is in this movie.
We did the movie Raw. Came out in 2016. It is a French-Belgian drama / horror / coming of age film. It was directed by Julia Ducournau. Don't know what else.
One right there.
Director. It stars the main characters of Justine. Played by Garance, Marilier. Alexa is played by Ella Rump. Adrian is played by Rabba Ofella. The dad is Laurent Lucas. The mom is Joanna Priest. The professor is Jean-Louis Sabili. I don't know.
Really went after that one.
Getting sexy with it now.
Yeah. Filmed in France, 99 minutes. Was released May 14th, 2016 at the Cannes Film Festival. Then released almost a year later on March 15th, 2017 in Belgium and France. Its budget was 3.48 million euros. That's 3.8 million US. And the box office only did 3.1 in the box office. So it didn't even really make its budget. Anyway, that's what we did. We did Raw.
Well, this film, you might have said this was rated R for, get this, aberrant behavior, bloody and grisly images, strong sexuality, nudity, language and drug use, and worst of all, perhaps deserving of an NC-17 rating for partying.
I mean, all those things are true. This movie is very severe.
In every way.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing else I can say to really encompass everything. If you go to the Parents Guide on IMDb, that shit's full.
It's like the Parents Guide is other movies' trivia section.
Yes.
Well, this one starts out, a lot of films that we've done here start off with some form of travel via vehicle. There's a car in a lot of these opening scenes. So not only is this movie known for its partying, but also for the opening random unexpected car crash. So I didn't grasp this at first, but what caused the crash? Was it the girl laying on the road?
Yeah.
Okay, see, I watched this scene twice, and the first time I thought it was someone who was thrown from the car, and I don't know why I thought that.
I mean, I guess I could see where you're coming from, but no, it's the other one.
Yeah, I just didn't know where they were going with it. Like, it's a blank slate at this time. I didn't even watch a trailer for this thing. I just hit play and, ran with it.
Well, I'm not a trailer person, though.
Yeah,
I don't
you do
often
avoid
watch
trailers.
a trailer. I don't like
you'll
being spoiled.
avoid a trailer. Well,
yeah.
That's the thing. Nowadays, movies have started to spoil a lot of things in trailers.
They have for years. I hate it.
A lot
That's
of them,
why I
though,
avoid
there's some
them.
teaser stuff. The other things are just straight up spoilers. Like, okay, if I'm being honest about it, I watched the Godzilla vs. Kong trailers numerous times. Like, time and time again. And at
That's
one
like
point,
your
because...
thing, though.
Well, it is. Yeah, Godzilla is like my, MCU. But there was this older gentleman that I wanted to kind of sell on the movie, so when it came out, we would, watch it. And like he'd never like gotten into any Godzilla, Kong type, kaiju movies. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna sell this movie on this guy. And they're like, hey man, the trailer dropped. So I'd pull out the laptop. We watched the trailer, and he was emotionally invested in it. Especially when I told him I guess King Kong being an allegory for, the human slave trade, between Africa and, America, and all the, I guess, similarities in the story, and whether or not that was, purposely done, it's still something that we can draw parallels about. So he being, an old black man, he's like, you know what? Kong's my fucking guy now. I never knew that, so Kong's my fucking guy. So we always made a joke about, me being Godzilla, him being King Kong, and we were going to fight it out on the movie drop day. I'd have fucked him up, by the way, because he's like 65. But anyway, when that trailer dropped, I watched these trailers time and time again, pausing it at the beginning of every new scene or every new, I guess, section of that trailer. And they fucking ruined the fact that Mechagodzilla was going to be in the film.
That's exactly the kind of shit that infuriates me.
Yeah, now it did take me pausing it and watching it a bunch of times to catch it, but once I knew it and the cat was out of the bag, I was just like, okay, I guess it's... But it was ruined. So I'm with you on that, but I can't avoid trailers, at least watching them once. I might not, pause them every 5 seconds and dissect every view, but, But, I didn't know if this crash scene, like, what it did for the story, or if it was just like the random, unnecessary nudity that made Showgirls the fine film that it was. I didn't know where they were going with this. I hear somebody mumbling. Are you saying that Showgirls was not a fine film?
You didn't hear me saying shit.
It was probably Rick groaning over there. Oh, no, it's James
never
on that.
Bill.
Okay.
Are you crazy?
Yeah. I'm sorry. I mean, back in the day, man, Elizabeth Berkley, that was like forbidden fruit, man, because she was on Saved by the Bell, and we're like, wait a minute, I'm 11 years old, and I know that, there's going to be, one of the Saved by the Bell girls going to be naked on film. It's like unheard of.
It's called the cat shit out here, Bill.
Yeah, let's talk about that. So, okay. So let's go back to the vomiting in movie theaters and whatnot. Like, due to the graphic nature of this film, there were theaters handing out custom-made vomit bags. God damn it, James.
Hustle.
What are you
doing? Hang on, Bill.
What are you doing? Why do I have to hang on for you to get back in the house?
I had to go outside and get this paperwork, Bill, to be in the Christmas parade. I'm in my underwear and it's cold outside.
Moving on. Speaking of vomit bags, at a screening at Gothenburg Film Festival, several attendants in the audience fainted and vomited. And these are the 30 people that you guys alluded to earlier. Like, how bad does a movie have to be? Because I've never had this happen. I've never been so squeamish in a movie that I fainted nor vomited. What is going on in y'all's minds that leaves you this way?
I don't understand it either. Like, this was tame compared to some things I've seen. So this wasn't really shocking to me at all.
Well, it's probably tame compared to things that you participated in, Rick. You nasty bastard.
I get squeamish pretty easily. I get icked out. Like, not necessarily. Like, I can watch old shit from the 80s where it's, like, super fake looking and stuff. But, like, the better things have gotten at looking real. Every once in a while, it'll turn my stomach. Like, watching this, there was a moment we'll get to later where I had to pause it and kind of walk around for a few minutes and, like, hype myself back up.
Okay. I mean, we're all in different places mentally as far as it, grossness goes.
James says he got grossed out.
James probably watched this between the cracks of his fingers. That's just James. Well, okay, so how were you when you first saw the movie Saw?
I watched it.
James, nobody's saying you didn't watch the movie this time.
The crack of my finger. The crack of my hand.
So, James, do you get squeamish on these movies?
Sometimes.
Okay. Well, I just don't. I guess Rick doesn't either, so we're 50-50 on this. Now, I've yet to see movies that a lot of people claimed to be just really bad. The Green Inferno, yeah. Cringy. Definitely, like, ugh. But, like, at no point was I like, oh, God, I got to turn away. I've still not seen The Human Centipede nor any of the following films.
It's gross.
So it strikes me as not so much horrific as shock-inducing.
Yeah,
raw meat.
It's definitely like nasty shock value stuff.
Okay. Well, this film is one of Hideo Kojima's favorites. Well, from the year 2018. Do you guys know Hideo Kojima?
No.
He's only the greatest. Oh, yeah. He's only the greatest video game director, I guess. Is that what his role was with Metal Gear Solid?
I mean, yeah, I would say, yeah. He's the best, yeah. One of the best.
Yeah, because that's my favorite saga of any video game ever, and he's, the main man there. But back to, I guess, the story. Justine is our main character, and she's off to college. And what a wholesome adventure she's about to go on, guys.
I thought it was veterinary school.
Well, that's still like a trade college, right?
Yeah, I mean, she moved out.
Yeah, that's college to me.
Yeah, for sure.
God damn it, James. Well, just minimize it, why don't you? Just minimize it. This girl's going to veterinary school, trying to do her best. Oh, it's just veterinary school.
And she's a virgin. I know I touched on that in my opening, but it is important.
A virgin.
Yeah, a vegan virgin.
A vegan virgin veterinarian. So off of Jump Street, like, she's smack dab in the middle of a hazing ritual. All right, which I guess seems pretty mild after having completed like Navy basic training, at least the first part here. But this doesn't seem like regular hazing for like a fraternity or sorority. Like, it's the whole veterinary program is being hazed like this. Am I understanding this right?
Outside during the daytime, no less.
Yeah, this is like everyday normal shit, like the ticking of the clock. So, like, part of this, and it all just like seems so casual. and not the clusterfuck I would think goes into such madness, is eating raw animal meat. What was in the little thing on the desk, like the first time that she's, made to eat this? It's like rabbit something.
It was
rabbit kidneys.
Rabbit kidneys.
Yeah.
And of course, we just said that she is a vegan. And supposedly the whole family's vegan, which sounds like a horror in itself. But Justine's sister,
pretty good now.
Well, I don't know, Casey.
Just saying, it's gotten better because I was a vegetarian for like 8 years, and the vegetarian food that I was eating when I was 13 is horrible compared to like the cool shit that they can make now.
I'll take your word for that, because I just had like this fucking barbecue that my brother-in-law made. Listen, James, I should have brought this up during the Thanksgiving talk. My brother-in-law just got himself a smoker, and he brought over some of the best fucking barbecue I've ever had. So I guess I'm about to be $700 poorer really soon.
You ain't had my barbecue, Bill?
I'm pretty sure I have, James.
You ain't had my barbecue. You can get you an electric smoker for like $300.
Yeah, if I want to be down there with all the poverty people. I'm trying to rub elbows with America's elite.
Bobby Flay is leaving the Food Network. Billy can take over in his place.
Just season your meat. That's all you got to do. Channel over. But listen, okay, so rabbit kidneys here. And, like, the whole family's vegan. And supposedly, allegedly, Justine's sister, Alexa, whatever, she's there at this school too. She's already, enrolled. She's been at this school for a while now. She's one of the elder, people from the school. So she's one that's kind of pushing this hazing on while little sister Justine's going through it for the first time. But Alex convinces Justine to just shut the fuck up and eat the rabbit kidney. Eat some herself.
Which is disgusting.
It is just so fucking disgusting. You ever eat any raw meat, James?
No, Bill. I hate when people eat raw meat. It makes me sick.
Well, I do have to double back because I was just saying it was really gross, but I do eat like sushi and stuff.
That's different.
It's raw meat,
not like
though.
It is, but it's also like it has to be sushi grade, which means things are done to it.
Yeah. To
make sure that you're healthy. Rick, I know you've eaten some raw meat, you nasty bastard.
You ever seen that old man make that popcorn? He blows a whistle and pulls that string.
Never. Rick, have you ever eaten raw meat?
The fuck is he talking about? No, I've only eaten sushi. So
James, do you eat sushi?
Yeah, but it's cooked like shrimp and fucking crab meat. I don't ever get the raw stuff.
Okay, yeah. I don't eat sushi.
I don't think I could physically put a raw piece of anything in my mouth.
Y'all are missing out. Sushi's so good.
I don't even call it sushi.
I had beef carpaccio one time, but it was gross.
Mm. So 2 of y'all are some gross bastards. I can tell you that right now.
Which ones?
Well, you and Rick.
Hang on.
Is it the sushi thing or is it personal?
Oh, it's definitely the sushi thing. And, well, it's also personal. It's both.
Cool.
It's definitely both.
Right, because I shower at the morning.
And because I say pecan.
All right, Bill. Check your inbox.
I've checked it. This isn't very audibly. Oh, okay. So, horror Christmas snowflake ornament. So, it looks like there's a Carrie Christmas ornament that James wants me to order for him.
Is that the link that I sent?
That's her link.
Oh, wait a minute.
What I sent you.
Oh, I don't even have anything.
Show it to uncultured swine Rick.
Was this something you sent me on Facebook?
Yeah.
This is probably not very audibly attractive to our listeners, but I'm going to indulge you, James. I'm going to see what the hell you just sent me and figure out if it's even worth talking about. I'll edit this shit out so fast and make your fucking head spin.
He's probably got the slowest internet known to mankind. You just gotta watch the first of it, where he blows the whistle and pulls that string. That's all it is.
Well, fuckface, what did you tell me to do with it?
I just told you to watch the first of it.
No, you bastard. You said show Rick. So I forwarded it to Rick.
Because Rick didn't know what the hell I was talking about either.
Y'all get on my nerves. Every week of this fucking show, y'all get on my nerves.
Making popcorn with a cannon.
Well, listen,
we should
y'all.
talk about the movie.
That's something I'm interested in, Bill.
Well, we had that whole opening segment, and you just want to bring it up right in the middle of this hazing ritual where people are eating raw bunny rabbit kidneys.
I watched Tropic Thunder this week, Bill.
Oh. So some
there.
time passes. So some time passes after eating this rabbit kidney, and we see Justine wake up in bed. She's a little uncomfortable, got a little itch.
She's like
going
thrashing.
On. Well, she's at first she's kind of uneasy there in bed, and like got that itch going on. But like when she turns on that light, she is completely eaten up with rashes. Now, I'm not like an ASMR type of guy, but
Oh, what? Oh, okay.
Yeah, but those scratching sounds as she's just clawing at her skin tore me to pieces.
In what manner?
Because I suffer from some dry skin at times. Y'all aren't on my hippiforms. It doesn't fucking matter. But, yeah. Like, I can relate to that scratching. And it is like, oh, God. And the sounds. The sounds were just so, like, right in your ears. Like, I just knew that there was a ton of skin under her nails. From the way that sounded. This scene just kind of, okay, I could do without it. Did y'all not think that this was like the worst scene in the world just to hear it?
I did not like how it sounded, no.
I mean, I didn't like how it looked at all, but I hated how it sounded.
I think it was worse because I was watching with headphones.
Oh, that would definitely intensify it.
But I think it wasn't. I don't think it'd be that bad.
It was noticeably gross, and I think
Tell
the
me your
sound
TV
probably,
sound
compacted
sucks.
that.
Tell me your TV sound sucks without telling me your TV sound sucks, Rick. Oh, shit. Well, one constant thought I had about this, really from the moment Justine got to college, was like the real horror for me in all this would be the forcing of like group activities.
Yeah, you would never join a sorority or a frat.
Not in a million years. Not in 1 billion trillion titty million years. And the inconsiderate roommate. Also that's also a problem. But we all agree that while none of this is
consider it like the blowjob thing.
Like, yeah, like she's sleeping. In comes the roommate. Hey, my roommate's asleep.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I had forgotten that part.
Constantly doing the hibbity dibbity and like, yeah, no consideration whatsoever. But we all agree that while none of this is like everyday activity, like none of it is really outside the realm of what to expect in a hazing situation. Right? I mean, it's not like this is all batshit crazy at this point. Like,
eating the raw meat to me is... But I guess I've heard of people eating goldfish.
Here's the thing. Like, we've watched Fear Factor.
True.
Drinking bile. Yeah, like, while it would be gross coming out of a fresh body, like, part of me is like, okay, they, like, prep this to where it's not going to get anybody sick. Obviously, if everybody's doing it, then maybe, you know, whatever. I don't know. But it just didn't strike me as, like, really bad. It struck me as bad, but it's, like, voluntarily bad. Like, I'm there because I want to be. Nobody just woke me up out of my civilian bed and said, hey, you're doing this now. But where it started to kind of get weird to me was when Justine steals that Salisbury steak and shoves it down in her pocket. Like, gravy dripping out of her coat and everything.
I hated it.
It was uncomfortable, and it was also just out of left field. Like, what's happening here?
Yeah.
It was a hamburger.
Well, I think that's what he called it.
Is that not the same thing as a Salisbury steak?
No.
Okay.
The Salisbury steak got, like, gravy on it and stuff.
You could put gravy on a hamburger.
Yeah, if you want to ruin it.
Yeah.
I put tomato gravy on mine. I call it ketchup.
Okay.
I put
here comes James because we're talking about hamburgers.
Put gravy on my hamburger steaks, Bill.
Yeah, hamburger steak different completely.
Brown gravy.
Yeah, I mean, what else would you put? I mean, I use A1 because I'm fucking rich. But so, all right, we've got I thought it was a Salisbury steak. He called it a hamburger, but I'm just judging because it's like there was all that gravy on it, and it just, like, I thought because of the translation that, you know, he just used hamburger for like I guess a general term. But I mean, at that it wasn't a 7-Eleven, I called it a 7-Eleven. At that convenience store with a roommate, I mean, Justine's like, she's absolutely murdering this Philly steak too. And then later, she killed it. And later, sitting in front of her fridge, sniffing that raw chicken or fish or whatever it was, I can't remember.
Chicken.
Like, yeah, so for a gal who's allegedly vegetarian, vegan, she's trying to get them, you know, meat sweats all of a sudden. Like, what's really going on here?
I didn't understand something about that scene at the gas station. Why, when she's with that guy, does the random dude come up and start rubbing the dude on the ear, and the guy doesn't tell him to get away, he doesn't tell him to stop? I was like, what the hell? It was very awkward.
So, when you've worked at, I don't want to disparage any welcome centers in the Tennessee area, nor Kentucky, nor anywhere in America, but when you have a place where there are resting truck drivers, you are also probably going to be exposed to some people of the night, might we say?
Get away and turn away and say, stop touching me, or, I mean, you just...
Unless, I'm not talking about the driver being the person of the night. I'm talking maybe the friend here, the roommate, I say the friend, the roommate of Justine might regularly go there. And that driver may be familiar with said roommate.
Right. That's kind of what I had assumed.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm trying to not disparage any professions, but have you ever heard the term lot lizard?
Yeah, for sure.
Rickus Maximus?
Yeah, no.
Have you ever heard?
Thing is, they didn't.
I think the roommate might be a lot lizard.
What I'm saying.
So do you grasp what I'm saying now?
Yeah, I get it now. I didn't
okay, so that's why you didn't push him away.
I just kind of took it to mean that the roommate was on some hoe shit.
Yeah, the roommate is definitely on some hoe shit, and so is the truck driver. And you know what? Bless them both for it. You only live once.
That's true. I agree with that message.
Thank you for once.
Yeah.
You know, going back to that raw chicken that Justine's eating out of the fridge to make that scene, it's actually sugar.
I saw that. Does that mean like a fondant kind of thing? Like, how do they make it look that real out of sugar, I guess?
Yeah, it's obviously not like coming out of a bag of, granulated sugar right into the bowl. But, the actress said that, like, while it didn't disgust her from chicken, it did disgust her from candy for life.
Oof. That sucks.
What a terrible life to live. Ruins Halloween.
Seriously.
Well, the changes are coming fast and hard when she's puking up about 10 of my grandma's old tangled up hairnets.
That was icky.
Painful to watch. Now, I don't know what that was. Okay, like if I had to compare it to anything, it would be like a cat throwing up a hairball, but where the cat
it was hair.
Yeah, but like where the cat is
chewing on her hair and stuff.
Oh, well, it was like where the magicians are pulling scarves out of their mouth one by one, and they're all knotted up. Yep. I didn't know where that was, but that was a lot though. It was like a whole head of hair.
It was gross. It was like hair coming up out of a shower drain.
Yeah. Okay. There you go.
Start pulling it up.
Yeah. See, I haven't had to deal with that in a while, so
I've never done that, but I've been there when other people did and complained about it to me.
Oh God, it's pretty awful. Like you put that little. Doesn't matter. So Casey, please tell me that you and your sister have peed standing up in a moment of bonding before.
We haven't. I can probably count on two hands the number of times I've peed standing up in my life. So I was kind of fascinated that this chick could, like, aim.
Did you say two hands? That's a lot of fingers, Casey.
I feel like most people have peed outside more than 10 times. Am I wrong in thinking that? Like, camping and shit like that counts.
Yeah, okay. So what do you like?
Yeah.
James, we're men, and
James
we can
is helping
like.
My point.
Yeah, but James is giving a false equivalence here because like whereas one of us is concave, the other is convex. Okay, and like we can. Sense. It does make sense, James, if you know the definitions. Damn it, James, we can point and draw in the snow. And well, I mean, I'm sure Casey can draw in the snow. I'm not doubting your artistic
Not
ability.
with my pee.
Okay, well, I mean, it would be like
do that, like just squat regular and like pee outward. I would.
But
do
I'm not talking about squatting. I'm talking about standing up.
Well, I can't do that shit either. I'd be like,
well, apparently neither can Justine.
Piss all over myself and fall over.
Well, Justine can't either. But this scene did crown the hammer of this film, and it would be Alex.
Is it because of her butt?
That cake.
Yeah.
Alex is caked all the way up.
Alex is very pretty.
So, from a woman's perspective, what was this scene, Rick? Just kidding. Casey?
Okay, so I actually have thought about this scene a lot.
I have too. Different reasons. Go ahead.
Thank you for clarifying.
Thank you.
I thought about this scene a lot because I have once we get a little further into the movie, like what I feel that it like is about ultimately. And this scene doesn't really figure into that thought. It's like it's just a weird bonding moment, and I know the movie gets into like a lot of animalistic qualities, and maybe it's something like that. But I couldn't quite put my finger on it, if that makes sense.
It does make sense. It makes sense what you're saying. I guess I needed that from a woman's perspective because I just took it as more chaos to an already chaotic movie.
That too.
But I mean, nothing shows.
Scene,
yeah, it's a very funny scene.
That as a dynamic to a lot of the creepy, serious shit.
Yeah, you did have to have some type of, comic relief and I guess urinary relief. But while nothing shows a sister's love quite like giving her a Brazilian wax for the first time. Nothing at all. Not peeing on top of a building. Nothing.
No, my sister and I waxed each other's legs, but nothing.
But never...
never that. I don't think
never
I
the
trust
brasileiro.
very many people to do that.
Okay, but there are a number of people that you can count on your many, many fingers.
There are professionals.
Okay. Well, after watching this scene...
Yeah.
Let me just say, from the male perspective now, just grow it out, y'all. We ain't worth it, and neither's any female partner you may have. Nobody's worth anything.
To do with waxing or just in general?
Yeah, don't go wax yourself. Just let it go. We will eventually get over it as your partners. Don't torture yourself.
But also, if you do choose to do it, then do it.
If you do choose to do it, stop choosing to do it.
That's oh my God.
Nothing's worth it. But when that wax gets stuck, or I guess won't, tear away because it's supposed to get stuck, or it won't tear away. Like I'm much like those theater goers in Sweden, fainted and ran to the bathroom to vomit. More fainted. Okay, I didn't faint, but goddamn, I wanted to. That might have been
just with the wax part.
The part where it gets stuck, where it won't tear away.
But not the subsequent events, just that bit.
Just the part where she's trying to pull it up and it won't go, and you see the skin coming up, and like the hair won't tear away. Yeah, man. Can't do it, James. Just for research, I'm going to give you a Brazilian wax, okay? We're going to film it. So get your best banana hammock.
We're creating a podcast Patreon and OnlyFans, if you will.
What say you, James?
I don't know if I could take it, Bill.
Well, you're sure not going to give it. So either it happens with you or it happens with nobody.
I'm tough, but I ain't that tough.
Not at all.
I think you guys should believe in yourselves more.
Well, I prefer we just know ourselves more. And, yeah, you know what? I tell you what, I'll lay down beside you, James, and we'll have Rick do it to both of us. It'll be like our Thelma and Louise. Rick, get your hands ready, buddy.
He's just fine with it.
I guess so.
He's just waiting for a time and place.
He's waiting for the Outlook invite. Yeah, he's just waiting for that calendar invite. So I need help understanding something. Like during this waxing scene, this horrible, horrible scene, Alex cuts off her own finger, and I don't know how it happened.
Wax on.
She's trying to cut the wax off, and she slipped and cut her finger.
Dog walking up at the beginning. I was like, really?
Yeah, and like wasn't even pushed away. Like she's just laying there, like, "Is that you, Alex?" Just lapping it up. So if you weren't convinced by the Salisbury steak or the Philly cheesesteak, like maybe this will convince you that some fuckery is definitely afoot. Once Alex,
a finger.
Fuckery is a finger. Once Alex has lopped off that digit, Justine picks up the finger, and I'm thinking to save it for reattachment like a good friend would do. A good sister would do.
No, as soon as she saw it and picked it up, I was like, ugh, ugh.
God. Not at fucking all. She starts gnawing on that thing like James gnaws on those Hooters flats. Like holding it at both ends, man. Just sucking the blood out of the end, savoring every drop.
This is when I had to pause it and think about what I was watching.
If you'd told me I had to pause this movie at one point, I would have said, was it during the finger scene?
Yeah.
It doesn't help that ominous, I think it was an organ music that's playing. It really amplifies the derangement here. I mean, I know I know how you feel about it. You know how I feel about it. What about you, Rick? What say you about this scene?
I mean, I thought, when she lost her finger, she was going to reattach it, and she's over there, munching on it, and I'm like, oh, okay. But she's still called 112 or whatever. Yeah, the version 911. So,
well, James, I know when you probably read this parent's guide and you saw that there was a finger scene between two sisters, you were probably pretty excited.
I was excited until I saw what was going on.
When you saw that that little Vienna sausage with the baby sweet baby Ray's barbecue sauce on it.
Mm.
Is this also where you got squeamish?
I didn't like it one bit.
Well, one would think after this, things would just get better, right? A little hydrogen peroxide. A little hydrogen peroxide, some ivermectin, and this bloodlust is just taken care of.
It wasn't,
no?
Though.
It wasn't. No, dog. Alex is out, running cars off the road for feasting time. Like, eating dudes they're not even dead yet.
Yeah, she was like, he's not going to make it, chomp.
Yeah, he's not going to make it after I eat his face off.
Right.
Like, this is real deal cannibal shit. Okay, and Justine's changing. Like, not only with her need to feed, but her demeanor and her acceptance of it all has gone from, like, I don't want this to, hard to feed, but her demeanor and acceptance of it, it's all, it's going to, like, I don't know. She's staring at anyone she wants to sink her teeth into.
I got the need for speed.
The need to feed.
So what are y'all seeing from Justine at this point? There's changes happening and not just physical.
So something that I thought a lot about during this movie is that this movie is incredibly sexual. And like we go from her like shyly telling a doctor that she's a virgin to her like bloodlust and like regular lust alike seeking flesh in any form. So she's gone from this, vegetarian virgin girl, like very sheltered, so it seemed whatever, and then she eats a raw rabbit thing, gets a rash all over her body, and then starts eating meat in any form that she can get her hands on.
She's got these carnivorous cravings.
Right, like carnal urges.
This makes me very uncomfortable.
Did you not think anything about that? I don't know. I mean, it's very like coming of age. Like, she's coming to a dramatic turn in her life, and it gets really sexual during this movie.
I didn't understand why the sisters were really close. I mean, at one point I was like, are they together? Or, I mean, it was just kind of like, okay, you're that close.
So you're questioning the relationship between the sisters. Like, were they biological sisters, or maybe...
Right, yeah, you're pissing outside on a rooftop next to each other. It's like, okay.
That's not...
Careful, Casey.
Yeah, I know.
All sisters do, like, you know.
So, okay.
Rick, I will pee outside with you right now if it makes you feel better.
Pissing on a hot tin roof. Cats pissing on a hot tin roof, Bill.
Weird.
Yeah.
If I had to pee in front of my sister, it wouldn't be that weird. I feel like she would say the same thing.
You'd go up on a tin roof.
Yeah, I mean, ideally, tin roof. But, it wouldn't.
And there I'd be under it, asleep. It's like, oh, it's raining. I'm going to have the best sleep of my life.
I'm feeling drowsy all of a sudden.
But I feel like if I told her something about, like, we were in a situation where we had to pee outside together, it would probably be funny.
Why am I so drowsy? Casey and her sister must be coming of age.
Am I wrong in saying this? I mean, I don't think I'm wrong. I'm asking, like, did you guys have any of these thoughts about it being, like, a coming-of-age movie and looking at, like, the sexual dynamic that the movie contains alongside the need for flesh?
Yes, definitely.
As long as it eating fingers, it was okay, I guess.
Yeah. No, that's her own character arc, I guess. We'll know why no one else is really going through this that we know of, later. But, I mean, Justine's feeling herself. Like, she's all blood in, blood out now. Dancing all sensual, gyrating her hips and licking this mirror.
And wearing different clothes.
Yeah, a different type of clothes, She's definitely feeling uber sexual now. Yeah. I guess maybe not sexual, but definitely sensual. Hell, I mean, I used to do the same thing back in my day in my little baseball uniform. Hell, I'd wear like a cup 2 sizes too big and just smack myself on it with my bat.
Just eat a raw chicken breast.
Eat a raw chicken breast? Well, maybe not a breast, like a thigh or a drumstick. I don't like white meat. You should know that. But with every high comes an equal and opposite low. When Justine doesn't get them platelets on her palate, she starts feeling the withdrawals. Tough scene to watch if you've, got loved ones who might have gone through any type of, drug issues or something. They drew the inspiration from the scene from Train Spotters.
Which I love.
Very good film.
I had an episode today. So I went out gallivanting with the old lady today.
I'm sorry, what was that verb?
Gallivanting.
Okay, just making sure.
And I said, let's go eat at the China buffet.
Oh yeah, like one does on a pretty Sunday.
Well, pulled up to the China buffet, and the damn place was closed, Bill.
Surely not.
They was closed on vacation till the 30th.
What? Well, that's only 2 days, but like, how long they been off?
Through the window.
Is there a Chinese holiday that I don't know about? Well, I'm sure there are a ton of Chinese holidays that I don't know about.
They celebrate Thanksgiving, Bill.
But for that many days?
They could go visit their family somewhere.
I'm still pissed off.
That's true. I guess that's, because what's the, I guess, popular thought that, like, if you want to order out on Christmas, like, the only thing you can really order is Chinese food, right?
Yeah, I've gotten Chinese on Thanksgiving before.
You've gotten Chinese on Thanksgiving?
Yeah.
Man, I would go for some turkey fried rice.
I didn't get that.
I was madder than hell.
And you just damned the whole country of China, didn't you? Hong Kong included.
I was having withdrawals, Bill.
Oh, that's okay. That's where we tie it back into the withdrawals.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about.
Okay, I got you now. Well, like, what is Justine doing though? Like, she deservedly tries to bite the lips off of this painted man. Not Morgan Freeman from Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, but an elder from the hazing committee. I was pretty satisfied with that. But it looked like she was about to give it up, He was pretty, I wouldn't say forceful, but kind of.
Yeah. He was super, like, coercive in a negative way.
Coercive. There's the word I'm looking for. Definitely coercive. And, like, I was pretty satisfied with that. Her, biting his soup coolers off. But I thought we were going to get this weird sex scene where, like, probably toxic paint was going to go in all the wrong holes.
Ugh.
Yeah, glad that didn't happen. But, she finally decides to let the bisexual roommate take her V card. I don't know if he was known to be bisexual through the movie. I know he was known to be just straight up gay throughout the movie. And then finally he takes her V card. So
I think they had vibes from the beginning, though.
Maybe. And but we knew him to have male partners. We didn't know him to have female yet, which he's had a whole life before this movie, so who knows? Yeah. But, I can't really be happy for him yet because, like, when she's licking him all over, I can't help but think she's finna rip out his jugular with those incisors.
Mm-hmm. I was thinking that too.
Yeah, I thought this was a setup.
I think she did try to bite him because I think when he was saying stop, I think that it's because she was trying to bite him.
I think if she wanted to bite him, she would have bitten him. I think she was probably having an internal struggle. Like, do I do it? Do I hurt him? I dig him. So do I dig him enough to not want to hurt him in spite of my bloodlust? That's right. That's how I took it. So, she ends up just biting, into her own arm.
And having a great time doing it.
Having a wonderful time. But, like, this film's full of, like, abstract messages here that I'm probably missing. Some of them have become, like, more clear as we've, talked it out. But at this point, I'm really just taking this movie at face value. The French have never been very artistic, after all.
Yeah, that's notorious.
Yeah, they're notoriously unartistic people.
Yeah, French listeners everywhere, sorry.
Yeah, they've never had any famous painters or anything like that.
Well, the French were very artistic. Or is that autistic? Artistic.
Oh, God.
No.
Another subject, Bill.
He's on the artistic spectrum.
One from our flavored past.
Let's use a different adjective for our past.
Colorful.
I'll take that.
Artistic. Autistic past.
It could be mistaken as such.
Well, Bill, they've seen the white thing again.
Oh no!
Recently, on Hey Westmoreland, they've been talking about the white thing.
Let's be very clear to our listeners and our panel that when James refers to the white thing, he is not talking about his penis.
No, this is a cryptid animal.
Would you say this is very Sasquatchy?
I don't know if it's a Sasquatch or a skinwalker.
Oh, so it's changed forms over the years. That's good. So this isn't quite like the Yeti. This is very... Okay. Okay, so there's been a sighting, you say?
Yep.
Any member of the Brown family bring this up?
No, I seen it on Facebook.
Oh, then, well, that's all the validity I need.
I started talking about it again, Bill.
Well, you know, I was about to say there are a lot of gaspy moments in this film, but James, you just delivered us a gaspy moment with that white thing. And, you know, while Justine is spiraling into a void, I believe you are too, James.
Remember that time we was at your house, Bill?
Oh, boy.
I heard that screaming out there.
Yeah. And me just crossing my fingers hoping it's my mom.
That's pretty wild. Anyway, that's all I wanted to let you know. It started again.
Well, you're gonna have to send me links, and we will talk further about the nonsense that you're spewing upon me, and I'll be glad to do so. But meanwhile, we're talking about Justine spiraling into just a void. But again, that's the only story I'm really seeing here. Like, I don't know where a lot of this movie is going, what it's leading up to. Again, I'm just taking it at face value. I don't know where it's going. I guess things start to pick up a little bit when, you know, Justine and her sister have, you know, their fight. Now that fight is somehow both weird and hot, but it didn't last very long. Like, it didn't last long enough before they're separated by these two guys who apparently wanted to put them in the dog pound. I don't know what that was about, but it was like, as soon as they got their hands on Alex and Justine, like, they turned into my German Shepherd when I hold his collar and won't let him chase a car. That was kind of a weird scene at the end. Did you get that kind of canine vibe?
Kind of. It was definitely like two dogs fighting when they were going after each other and biting each other. It was very much that. But it was just so weird because you would see something happen and Justine would be horrified, but then she would go back and do something else. Like when she bit that guy's lip off, but she found the lip stuck in her teeth, she still ate it. And we're just seeing we're just seeing shit getting grosser and grosser. And finally there comes this altercation with her sister where you're really seeing, you know, we've seen her sister eat a person, but we're seeing yet another example that her sister and her are struggling with the same condition.
So somewhere along the timeline of this crazy ride, the roommate, Adrienne, we probably heard the name before, but it just occurred to me when this scene popped up. And Justine, I mean, they finally become a thing. You know, we felt the vibes earlier. It's finally a thing. So like you do, you know, when you spend a lot of time with each other, you know, Justine wakes up in bed, begins to kindly, you know, caress Adrienne while he's sleeping, but she pulls back a bloody hand.
Ick.
And comes unglued. So, big chunk eaten from the thigh of Adrienne.
That was gross.
Yeah, because you see the bone in there. So they got down there deep. But that was just, you know, the insult to injury. Was it not? That wasn't even the main issue.
It was that Alex killed him?
Absolutely. Got a big stab wound in his back, and it's revealed, or rather inferred, that it was Alex who sent him to the gulag. Find her around the corner, you know. And,
just laying there in a daze.
Was she laying there in a daze? I thought she had something in her hands like a video game controller.
Oh, maybe I missed that then.
Know.
But she looked
Hey, both things can be true. Both things can be true.
I guess that's true. She
as soon as she gets up, though, she looked out of it.
Yeah,
for sure, because the shower comes and she's just standing there in a daze. So, I mean, this one was just a lot of going from bad to worse. as far as like character situation goes. Alex goes to prison for the obvious reasons. I just want to remind everybody that Alex is the hammer of this film.
She is, yeah.
Without a doubt. Without a doubt. But this shitty Belgian film wouldn't be complete without a twist, now would it?
I like this movie.
It's not terrible.
I liked it a lot.
Did you like the twist?
Yeah, I did.
What was
and
the
twist was Justine is back at home with her parents, who we briefly met at the beginning of the movie. They are vegetarians as well. We kind of discussed that.
Wonderful people.
And she's sitting at the table, and her mom kind of gets up to do something, and her dad's talking to her, and her dad's kind of a soft-spoken guy. And he says, that it's not your fault. It's not your sister's fault. Things are just different, blah, blah, blah. And he basically unbuttons his shirt and implies to us that their mom, the first time they ever kissed, bit him. And as he's unbuttoning, you just see that his chest is covered in, like, scar tissue, wounds, scars, like, just tore up from the floor up.
The parents sent Justine to the school where they knew the intention required her to eat meat. Thus, giving her the same affliction.
Now, here's my question. The dad doesn't have it, though.
I think you're correct. I think he is just on the receiving end of some of that. I do believe it is just Justine's mother who has the cannibalism situation going on.
So that's another, like, female specific thing that we see in the movie. And, we see a lot of sexuality stuff. And I think instead of, like, Carrie getting her period during the movie, I think their coming of age thing is eating meat, like consuming flesh for the first time.
Both have to do a lot with blood.
Yeah.
So, can we also infer that Justine's father was a lot lizard? Calm down, James.
Who's a lot
I know
lizard?
you don't like... Well, could be.
He's a lot lizard, though.
Isn't just is a lot lizard?
Well, at the end when Justine's dad shows his scars and Justine's all surprised, like, has she never seen his chest before?
Yeah, I kind of wondered about that too. He also says, "You'll find a solution, honey." So his thing is kind of, I guess, find something that you can chew on for the rest of your life.
Well, that guy's dead, so she's going to have to find somebody new.
Oh, Adrian?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's definitely dead.
What did the critics have to say about this one, Casey?
They weren't mad about it. This movie did pretty well as far as the way it was received. On Rotten Tomatoes, it has a 91% approval score.
What?
And, yeah, people liked it. Me included.
Have we reviewed anything with a score that high before?
I don't think so.
I'll be damned.
But one of the positive reviews, actually, on the first page of Rotten Tomatoes, there are no negative reviews.
Frenchie.
We didn't catch that, James.
Nor did I.
Way to go, Frenchie.
No.
Instead of calling it Rotten Tomatoes, just call it Belgian waffles. Carry on. No negative reviews.
It says, Ducournau's feature film debut, Raw, joins the canon with the French teen cannibal coming-of-age story I didn't know I was waiting for.
Okay, that's good. That's really good.
I'm looking for a bad review. not finding
Well, look
him,
no
though.
further than our very own Memphis Menace Rick.
Rick, you didn't like it?
It was okay. It wasn't like amazing or phenomenal. It's kind of boring, honestly.
I remember Rick texting me 30 minutes into his view saying, this movie is boring. And I'll admit, the first half hour was boring.
I was 30 minutes in. I was like, is this going to be this slow the whole time? Like,
for reference, the movie really didn't start to pick up until about the 40-minute mark.
I thought it was going to be more horror than drama, and I guess that's why I was kind of like, it was okay.
I guess when you think about how horror is subjective, maybe a lot of times we look at it from the perspective of a victim. And while, yes, Justine is a victim here, a lot of times we need to put ourselves in the place of the protagonist to say, hey, would I be horrified in this situation? Some people can do that, others can't. Just like I watch a movie and I'm not squeamish at all usually, whereas Casey will occasionally pause a film, recalibrate, get back into it. If I'm in Justine's place, I am absolutely horrified by what's going on. So I would say it has a place, in the horror spectrum. But there's drama aplenty in this film, Rick. Make no mistake.
I think it's obviously less scientific because the storyline is a teenage girl versus an adult scientist. But it's body horror a la The Fly, like a slow course change over time. Absolutely. You're looking at as that example, like Clive Barker, Cronenberg kind of shit, where we're seeing absolute knockdown, gross out stuff from this teenage girl.
Save the drama for your mama.
They sure didn't.
James, how about those final thoughts on Raw?
I give it one sleepy eyelid closed.
What about the other one? What's it up to?
I mean, if it's not closed, it must be open.
Wide open, though.
True. Looking in disgust because this movie made me sick.
It was very gory. It was very bloody. And they don't prepare you for what you're about to see. There's no build-up to some of this. I mean, she just picked up that finger off the floor and went after it. There's no staring long and hard at the finger. It was just, hey, what's that taste like? Yep.
Animalistic instinct.
This movie made me uncomfortable.
But it's supposed to. It did a good job of doing that then.
And Casey, your final thoughts on Raw.
I was not entertained.
There we go. I've made it pretty clear that I enjoyed this movie a lot. It's one that I've been wanting to watch for months, and when last week I didn't really have anything prepared on what to watch, I was like, well, I want to see that movie. We'll all talk about that and see how it goes. It's pretty severe, it's pretty icky, but I thought it was really well done and visually really appealing. It's a good-looking movie.
No doubt. So, who's got the next pick for
you do.
Next? I just wanted to hear it said.
Oh, God. Meanwhile, back at bragging camp.
Bragging camp because it's his turn.
I earned it. I didn't just wait around for it to happen. Well, guys, next week, the film we're going to watch.
Join in next week when you hear the cratchy old podcast.
You got that, James?
What do you call it? Yeah. Say, hey, Rick, man, let me hold $1.
Next week, guys, we're going to watch a film that you will find on Tubi TV. And guys, if this film is not on your holiday season playlist...
Oh, no.
Planes, trains, and automobiles.
Then you are wrong. Listen, if we're watching any Steve Martin film on this podcast, it's going to be The Jerk. But this is Slashers and Screamers, not Slappers and Laughers. So, thank you, Rick.
Yeah, it wasn't
We're going to
funny.
be watching... It wasn't at all. But we're going to watch the 1974 classic Christmas slasher starring the likes of Olivia Hussey, Margot Kidder, and John Saxon. It's going to be Black Christmas. The original.
I thought you were going to do Thanksgiving, so I'm grateful in this one instance.
Well, Thanksgiving's over, and it's by the time we roll back around, it will be in the Ides of September or of December. So we're going to go with Black Christmas. And again, you will find it on Tubi TV. The 74 version. Don't look at the early 2000s version. I think it was early 2000s, right?
It's like Black Dracula.
Exactly like Black Dracula. An all black cast. Richard Roundtree is going to be in it. No, this is definitely not. There's no Black Santa Claus, if that's what you're asking. Black Dracula is a fantastic film, though. You know what? Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna watch that one eventually one day, and I'm gonna get James Alexander back on the show. He would love to watch Black Dracula with us.
Oh, good.
That's right. 2 Jameses for the price of 1. Both of them you're gonna be overpaying for. So, Black Christmas, Tubi TV. Guys, you guys got anything before we sign this mother off?
I was going to say it's on Pluto TV, Peacock, Tubi, Vudu, Crackle. So it's not just on Tubi.
I can tell you one thing for certain.
For what?
Certain.
Go ahead, Mr. Connery.
Bigfoot's real, Minneapolis.
For the Godfather of Droll James, for the Memphis Menace Rick, and for Final Girl Casey, I am Billy Graves. This was the Slashers and Screamers podcast. We'll catch you in the gag room.